I must confess, I said yes to a question God asked me a long time ago. He showed me a place where He asked that I would go. But it was a journey I didn't have the faith or courage to make. So I chose a different road than the one I had an opportunity to take. When I declined, I unknowingly left a part of myself behind. And since then, I've been paying the toll, the cost of never being whole, a void nothing external can console. God knew when He asked what the answer would be, but He's been giving me pieces of myself on every part of our journey. He's been asking me to see that I am more than my evolving state of mind allowed me to see. And to make sure, He gave me some gifts that aligned with my divine assignment. Those gifts have kept me anchored to my purpose through every climate. They became so prolific that I could time it. And God gave me a platform to impress them upon so the masses would find it. It is so important to have a voice. For what it means is that you have a choice. There are those among us who are uncomfortable when others speak. Because when we raise our voices, they lose the power over us, which they seek. They need us to be less of a person so they can feel complete. But the future that God meant for me could not meet them, which means I could not keep them. They loved me from a place that would never truly allow me to meet Him or myself. The time I did in prison was living in the eyes of someone else. The bars I faced were invisible as they were designed to be, to keep me imprisoned while allowing me to think that I was free. When I was a child, I remember feeling like I would never be good enough to matter. In an environment where the belief was children should be seen and not heard, seen and not understood, our voices muffled and our self-esteem not good. I hated the God of my grandfather's understanding. Much like him, he seemed unloving, yet so demanding. A God who expected so much, but gave so little. The same as my grandfather expected of me. He was like the God my young mind understood God to be. He used to say, when you grow up, you're going to be a sissy. One more day, and you would have been a girl in your mother's belly. When I was a child, my grandfather was like God to me. I watched him preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. But when he came home, there were times where he just was not nice. He represented a God that was disappointed in me. A God who wanted to protect a fantasy. When I was a child, I fought a lot in school. Instilled fear in other children because at home, fear is what ruled. When I was at home, there was no me. So when I went to school, I took away other children's identity. No one stood up for them. No one stood up for me. Who were they going to tell that this little boy was their bully? Who was I going to tell that my cousin was molesting me? And that my uncle was looking at me like how guys look at girls? I learned early on that we live in a messed up world. A world whose sleeping children can hardly close their eyes, wondering who might enter their rooms and leave them compromised. I guess they got my grandfather's memo, and before I even grew up, they figured they'd use me as a demo. I once wanted to be where my grandfather is today, in a cemetery, dead, because I already felt that way. Some of us almost died while falling from the tree. Then it seems we got tied to it. No more better to be. You know, it's really not so surprising how we become our parents without realizing. We order up their mistakes, except we're supersizing. We don't have to live a lie, but we have gotten so comfortable with it, the truth seems hard to try. I personally know that the price to speak it is relatively high. I must confess, when God asked me to answer the call, my soul said yes. I've long outgrown the shadow of fear that once eclipsed me, but now I can breathe air that was once too thin. Now I cast a shadow that my fears must stand in. They have become so narrow they live under the shoes I stand in. God allowed me to think once that I was on my own agenda. But all the while, he was teaching me what it means to surrender. He took me on a journey that planted seeds he knew that I'd remember. Seeds that he knew wouldn't be seeds for long. They grew silently, but they grew strong. In the process, I became something else within. My soul took my humanity for a spin. And in the end, my physical manifestation did not win. To my spirit, to my soul, my physical manifestation has conceded control. Now it is my assignment to bring the priorities of my soul in alignment with my life, unlike it has never been done before. Now, my calling doesn't sound like it's calling from some distant shore. Now it sounds like a roar, and it's coming straight from the core. My mind has taken me as far as it can, and now I must surrender to what it cannot understand. Once upon a time, I had a plan. Once upon a time, I was just a man.
What you have said helps me to understand why you call it a revelation, because it's as if it is something that is being revealed to you. You're not really conscious.
Right.
It's not something that you have thought of.
No.
But something that was revealed to you by a force bigger than yourself.
Bigger than myself.